Welcome. My name is Elena Brower. I'm here with Essential Education. My guest today is Sierra Campbell. She is the founder of EssentialElderCare.com and Nurture.co. At Nurture, you will find a series of free conversations to have with the elders in your life whom you love, who need to be able to be vulnerable and honest about how they wish to die. This is a conversation that we're not having enough in the Western world, and it's time. Sierra, you have been working with elders and as a death doula for a long time. Why don't you just introduce us to how you have found this work and why it matters to you, and then introduce us to EssentialElderCare.com.
Thank you, Elena. I wandered into a nursing home at 16, took my first job in activities, and I did some exercise, but really I had the opportunity to become friends with more than 100 elders who lived there. And there was not a lot of wellness, in the state-assisted home. It gave me another opportunity to see how much we need to kind of wake up to how we care for our elders. And at 16, once you see and you're in that environment, you can't forget it. There's no going back. So I say, if you have children, let them volunteer or work in a nursing home. It's an incredible gift. It was a gift to my life. At 21, I started a home health care agency unknowingly. I had unfortunately gone through cervical and ovarian cancer before 21 and a car accident where I had to learn to walk again. And so those health crises, they brought me to a community of doctors, integrative therapists. And finally, when I had started to take clients, my elders at 21 years old, I was able to bring them all of this wisdom that I was using and literally refer all the entire community of healers that I'd attracted and bring them into their home. And one of those clients, Heidi, gave me a bottle of Clary sage, and it changed my life. I was in desperate need for hormonal support after having a surgery, a partial hysterectomy, and she gave me the Clary sage, and I used it in her foot soak. And so every time I treated her as her caregiver, I received the benefits of this Clary sage on my hands, smelling it. It was just delightful. And I knew then this would be part of my life and my health for the rest of my life. And luckily, just 8 years ago, I received doTERRA products, and that just smelling it, I knew this is different. This is a whole different ball game of just how potent it felt just smelling it.
Quality.
And so the quality, yes. Yeah. So
Very good.
that's an essential elder care.
Has been born from that.
Yeah, it's been born from about 20 years of research of using essential oils in all stages of elder care, from prevention, and I'm talking preventing falls. We can actually start looking at how to work with these oils on a daily well-being scale. How do we create these little rituals with our elders so that they're more tuned in to the soles of their feet, to their own balance and their own strength, to all the way to palliative and hospice care, and utilizing the oils for everything from emotional equilibrium to harmony to to some very serious things to support a good death.
Yes. So in essence, you have about 6 oils that you've recommended, 6 or 7 or so, for a general beginning list for elder care and also for caregiver care, which I think is an important part of this conversation. We'll begin with oregano, and I want to start by saying, if you're watching this, we are going to take great care to ensure that you as a consumer are safe from any misinformation. So we're going to give you information regarding how these oils can support certain systems of your body, rather than talking about whether or not they can in any way fix. We're not saying any of that. We're talking about systems support.
Yeah.
So, to begin with, oregano is a wonderful way to support the urinary system, kidney bladder system. Can you talk a little bit more about that, particularly in the realm of elder care?
Yes, there is a taboo thing that most of us women will deal with at some point in our life, and that's incontinence. And this is not, oregano is not a cure for incontinence, but there's so many things that can come from that. And so oregano is my go-to. I work primarily with the elderly women, and this is oregano is a simple, effective oil to put in a veg cap. And I'll often do it for the elder, ship it to them. And during COVID, I put it in the fridge. I asked them to put it in the fridge. And this is, like you said, to support their urinary tract system, their
Help. Yeah.
kidneys, when they're feeling low energy, when they know they've been exposed, maybe, even to the weather, not just cold and flu, but when they've just been exposed and they're feeling stressed out, I'll recommend to support your whole system, just take 1 or 2 drops in a veg cap. And you have to tell them to be really careful. This is why it's good for you to do it for them if you can, or with them, because oregano is a very hot oil. You don't want to get it on your finger and then in your eye. So it's powerful. It is a very powerful oil. And this is something that 99% of the women that I've worked with in the last 20 years welcome the support to their entire urinary system. And
Beautiful.
they're just elimination and waste. This is a wonderful oil.
Good. Okay, great. We will move on to, let's go to Balance. Balance is a blend, a
Mhm.
proprietary blend that doTERRA makes that has at its base black spruce. Very, very grounding, supportive of all emotional stability. I'd love to hear a little bit about how you use that, particularly in elder care and also in caregiver care.
Yeah, so this oil, this balance has coconut oil in it. So it has a carrier oil. I prefer that with a lot of elders who are, 70, 80 plus. The skin becomes much thinner as we age. And so this is
Mm-hmm.
very effective for, first, let's just dive right into daily rituals of well-being. Because
Yes.
these oils are the gateway for better conversations with our elders. Instead of
Mm.
hearing about their long list of health concerns, you can easily say, how is the foot soak going? Have you had your foot soak today with the balance? And but let's make it also really clear that personally, I don't like to put the oils directly in a basin, like a plastic tub for a foot soak. I prefer to use the oils directly on the skin after the foot soak. And if your elder is bedbound, not taking a shower, not taking a bath, you can do this with hot towels, hot, wet towels, and it's super effective. So you soak the feet. You could just do hot water and soap. You could do some Epsom salts, like a quarter, half a cup, or quarter of a cup of apple cider vinegar. Then after that 5, 10, 20-minute foot soak, lift the legs, put a towel under them, and prepare for some reflexology, a little massage. And because the balance has the carrier oil in it, I put that directly on the sole of the foot, the side, the shin, along the shin, the outside of that long bone of the leg. And then it's self-care time. If it's the elder by themselves, or it's you giving, a little love to your elder. So balance is,
Great.
is my go-to. And if not balance, then AromaTouch. I love these two as, which would you like in your foot soak today? If you're a caregiver, this is so good for you too. It's just, I even go as far, now I had a home healthcare agency with 50 women that worked with me, and something we would do is that the elder would receive the foot soak, and then after the foot soak, or sometimes during the foot soak, the caregiver would also soak their feet. I made I made it mandatory that my own employees on shift would spend 15 minutes soaking their own feet. It's so important for
Beautiful.
the elders to realize that it's a lot of work to care
Yeah.
for them, and they deserve
Yes.
it. So again,
Yes.
sole of the foot, AromaTouch is not diluted. So use a carrier oil like almond oil, coconut, what have you.
Great. Those two are actually two of my regular go-tos as well, even just to put a little bit of balance on my hands and then just rub it into the sides and the back of my neck, in through my hair. Feels so wonderful in the middle of the day. Let's go to lemongrass. Now, we've talked
Yeah.
about this privately, you and I, when it comes to lemongrass as part of the morning ritual for elder care. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, this morning ritual becomes increasingly more important as elders might become more forgetful. So, and even disorienting. So if you are in the home with them, or a caregiver can easily set up a diffuser, I like to start with lemongrass in the morning. You smell it and it immediately kind of opens up your sinuses and wakes you up. And
Mm.
it's this daily wellness ritual that is so important as that elder may become more forgetful. I also like citruses in the morning, and then if they really love the diffuser in the afternoon, I might do some on guard through lunchtime, afternoon, and then something restful in the evening, serenity, lavender, whatever they love. And it's important to remember it's what they love, not necessarily what you love as their caregiver or loved one who's living with them. This is something you want the diffuser by their bed. So, they're getting it as they're resting and even sleeping.
Tea tree is another one that we've talked about, particularly with regards to foot and nail care,
Yes.
skin care. Can you speak a little bit to that as well, really supporting the sort of external skin system, as it were?
Yes. The foot soak. Let's go back to that. That is,
Yeah.
and I want to mention that I've never met an elderly person over 65 who does not have a fear of falling. This is a serious fear, and it's understandable. Um, so these foot soaks really tune them in to their body. What often happens, why elders fall, they'll stand up too fast. They feel like they're 25 inside, but then all of a sudden they stand up and their legs don't want to work the same way. And so with the foot soak, this literally tunes them in to their feet. And
Mm.
it, it really grounds them and helps them kind of just have that awareness as they stand up. With skin and specifically nail care, I take the tea tree directly onto the nails, just to increase the health of skin and nails, and it works magic. And as soon as they have that once in 1 week or less, they notice a very big difference in the health of their nails and their skin, and
Terrific.
they can do it on their own. It's like,
Yeah.
it's again a ritual right before you put socks on.
Right.
Yeah.
When we've talked also about spinal application of oils, and in particular the rollers such as adaptive or frankincense, especially when an elder is having trouble sleeping. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yes. Well, I mean, we all love touch, and
Mm.
it's you can also use a roller like Stronger
Mhm.
and not even have to physically touch them if there's any issue with that. The spine is is really a vehicle for these oils. I've been using oils on my spine for almost a decade. So personally, I can say just wow, how I feel. I know, and I've watched elders overcome a lot of hardship, a lot of health crisis through using the oils on the spine. Again, you have to be careful because elderly, their skin gets thinner. That's another reason why I love anything in the kids kit. And I like one at a time, especially with elders as they're getting new, they're being introduced to these oils.
Yes.
Try one, then maybe start layering as you have more wisdom in, how to do that. But less is more, when it comes to uh, applying oils to the spine of elders, especially as they go 75, 80, 85 plus. I've noticed we don't need as much of the oils. And I start directly with the pure oil, you know, no carrier. And then if it starts to tingle or burn too much, I'll add a carrier oil. Again, this helps with balance. In this way, through the spine, the oils have access to the nervous system. So one I love actually is chamomile. That one is so soothing for deep rest and sleep and restlessness. A lot of elders have an incredible restlessness. Sometimes it's from all the things that are happening for them. And then sometimes it's even interactions that they're having with other drugs. And so this is a good moment to mention, check with your doctor, especially if the elder's on a lot of heart medication, high blood pressure. Check with the doctor. And when you check with them, let them know what the chemical components, what the compounds are in those oils that you would like to use on the elder. And if you have any questions, just ask, right? Yeah, just let me know. And
Turmeric is another one that you mentioned often, not just for post foot soak, but in particular to support the health of the joints
yes.
and the mobility. Can you speak to that after the foot soak, how you massage with
Yeah.
turmeric oil and a carrier oil?
Yeah, and after, even with so there's two things I do, the foot soak and the other much easier, simple thing, and this is what I do with turmeric a lot, is I'll use a hot towel. I'll have a hot wet towel. I'll put it in the hands of the seniors so they just hold on to it. I press lightly so that that warmth gets into the joints. We might do that for a few minutes, you know, and just 2-3 minutes of the hot towel. And then I'll take the pure turmeric and massage it gently into the joints of the toes and the fingers. It's immediate. It's immediate. And of course, that elder is like, I want you to do this every day. And I remind them, this is what you're going to do every day, you know?
Right.
And then when I pick up the phone and I have a conversation with them, we have a really awesome proactive conversation where the oils are the gateway, not just for their wellness, but a deeper connection with them. I often feel kind of helpless. You know, my elders aren't close by. It's like, how can I be supportive? And a lot of these oils, like turmeric, even stronger, especially, it's like $20, you know, and it sits right next to their chair. They know where it is. It's easy to open. So this also directly into the joints.
So good.
Yeah, turmeric is such a wonderful oil, but I have to say, I have all of my elders in my family on these wonderful capsules. Yeah.
What's wonderful about the capsules is that it combines both the curcuminoids, which are in powdered form, the yellow powder that we know to be quote unquote turmeric, and the tumerones, which are in the oil form, which are expressed from the root. And wow, the combination of the two is most assimilable by the body, more assimilable than either one separately.
Yeah.
So that's a neat, interesting point. If you're watching and you're interested in trying those turmeric dual caps, they're very efficient.
Yes. Do you want to reduce inflammation?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. And then finally, helichrysum it surprised me when I learned about it first and how you use it in elder care, particularly in end of life care. So I'd love for you to talk about that and familiarize us with that oil.
Helichrysum is a beautiful golden yellow flower. I mean, it's just really an incredible plant. How I use it is primarily in hospice. The oil for me nurtures the spirit, and it really brings the spirit to a place of wholeness. And it's sort of like just smelling it gives me a pathway to wholeness and really inviting in my own full presence. And so in hospice, your presence is what's needed, whether you're a family member or you're someone who's on their deathbed, letting go and surrendering. They're really embodying their full presence before they let it go. And this oil is wonderful for the diffuser. And I use 1 drop in the diffuser. And that's kind of how I leave the family in hospice. So I'll often do a hospice visit. I'll leave as part of the service. I give them a diffuser, and I'll leave that 1 drop while I'm there, and then I'll choose which ones, as I get to know them, are perfect for their hospice experience. And perfect could be, perfect has a lot to do with what the person who's dying, what they resonate with, what they love. And then because the family and loved ones are filling the diffuser, inevitably they're going to lean into what they love, like lavender or even rose or adaptive. Adaptive is absolutely amazing. I do love that one for hospice as well. But
Mm.
as a death doula, the helichrysum is, I don't ever take a hospice visit without helichrysum.
And adaptive is also really good for the caregivers, at least in my experience as a caregiver. I wished I'd had adaptive. When it came out, I wished I'd had it during the few days leading up to the death of my mom. Talk to us a little bit about adaptive. I know a few of the oils in there. We've got wild orange, lavender, copaiba, magnolia. These are all very adaptogenic in their function emotionally.
Yeah. Adaptive, I personally feel like it helps me with receptivity and becoming more vulnerable. In death and dying situations, a lot of us have a way of zoning out, not wanting to deal. And it's literally a time when we need to be able to adapt and be present and really show up. And so I find that adaptive is not just effective in the diffuser, but even in the capsules for better
Yeah.
rest, to ease your nervous system, to calm anxieties. Um, yeah, that's a powerful one. Each
Yeah.
individual oil in adaptive, when I kind of break it up, I can really see how all of these different oils help through various stages of grief and overcoming loss. And that's an oil that and I'll also leave forgive with a family, but forgive and adaptive are two that I just kind of, will drop it on the counter or right next to the diffuser and leave that one as a gift. Because it's something that families tell me after their loss, they're so happy that they have adaptive as they get
Yeah.
through, the stages of grief.
Well, I can't thank you enough. This is really helpful. I think for the care of elders, for the demystification of how we can at least just care for their emotional state and various physical systems, to use the wisdom of the plants in these ways is a very simple, accessible toolkit to have. And as many of us have said before, it really is a bridge between the caregiver and the one for whom the care is being delivered. The family and the person who is exiting this earth, transitioning. The oils serve as a really beautiful bridge. So I want to thank you for introducing us to this concept and also assure you you're coming back so that we can get more information from you. We're really grateful. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much.